Welcome back. We are here live on the Potato Expo show floor. We're at a place called The Eye. If you're on the show floor, come visit us. We've got crowds of people behind us. Everybody's getting ready. Everybody's playing games at Potato USA. They're getting ready for Spud Nation Throwdown. There are more lectures at the Potato Hub Innovation Center. We're doing all that. Tony is laughing at me because as the day is going on, the words just aren't coming out as quick as they should. So, one of the things, and we had some fun with some of the contestants for Spud Nation Throwdown, but one of the things that's coming out loud and clear here for the farmers, for everybody at Potato Expo, has to do with the research, has to do with soil health, and with me is Kyle Coleman, who's from NovaSource North America. So Kyle, what's going on with soil health, and how is NovaSource helping the farmers that are out there?
Well, appreciate the chance to be here, Phil. Thank you very much. Yeah, soil health is just a critical element. I'm from the Pacific Northwest, and I see fields that are in these high-value crops that are rotated over and over and over again. Times are pretty good when you're talking about a virgin field.
Right. After that?
As the decades go on, it gets to be a tougher game. So we are in the soil fumigant business, and what we're doing is clearing a path before anything is even planted to get rid of some of the disease, weeds, parasitic nematodes that will attack that crop later. And we do this on a lot of high-value crops like potatoes, onions, carrots, and really, it's funny because you recognize crop value or produce value in the store, right? And nobody wants a sweet corn that has a worm taking out a row. But what we're doing is before the game really even begins, just cleaning up that soil and getting rid of some of those pests, diseases in order to...
So let's talk about that. I think, and I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, that in order to become certified organic, the field has to be free of anything for 7 years.
It would be 3 years, by my understanding.
3 years in organic. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for correcting me. As it relates to conventional, how long is it, and how long does it take you with NovaSource to be able to clean that soil, to put it, in the right place to grow new crops?
Yeah. So an organic transition is over a period of time, and they're battling some of the pests that our crop protectant is working on. So they're playing a difficult game. We're able to fumigate the soil weeks before we plant, or even 4 to 6 months before the crop is even planted. That can clear enough space to get that crop planted and out of the ground before a lot of those pests rebuild. So it's difficult. You've got situations in organic where there's just places where they can't put it,
right?
Because the pest pressure is just built over time.
Right.
So they have to pick their spots. But we're helping the conventional acres where people, they understand I've got the land, I've got, a viable crop situation here. I just need help with that head start to get the crop moving and out.
So describe the process to me. Is it that your team goes out there, they take samples of the soil, they analyze it, and every field could be different?
Every field is different.
Okay, every field is different.
They are very different, and I spoke on that earlier today, that a 100-acre center pivot, when you stand out there, it looks like an ocean.
Right.
And within that, in fact, you can almost imagine an ocean, where the fish are, where they are not. You have pockets of disease, you have pockets of nematodes, you have areas where weeds are a tremendous problem. So we don't necessarily sample, but people do. And they gather that information, they educate the grower. Here's the situation. Our soil fumigant is not cheap. And so to make an investment like that, they're actually making an investment ahead of time to figure out what have we got, what do we need to work on, where is it, and then they move forward with the fumigation in order to get themselves ready for the crop year.
And while, it might not be cheap, long term, It is, because if you don't do it, you're not going to have the yields, you're not going to have the quality of produce, whether it's potatoes or anything else that you're growing. So,
it's deeper than that. Yeah,
it's like putting oil in your car. You can't run a car without oil.
It's a fantastic analogy. Really, the pests that we're protecting against can literally cause certain crops to be rejected. Not just devalued, not just a lower yield, but a certain amount of nematode pressure, for example. Right. Potato processor will reject that crop. A 100-acre pivot of potatoes is worth $500,000 by my math, and you just literally cannot afford a mistake. So we try to diagnose properly, so that we're doing the right thing when we need to. Not every field is fumigated, and nor should it be, but it's diagnosed when it needs it, how it needs it, and then that's where we come in.
What's the number one problem that you're finding that farmers come to you with?
I would say the number one problem is trying to make sure that the fumigant that they're applying is being applied in the most efficient way. There isn't a person out there that wants to buy one more gallon of fumigant than they need. It's funny, we talk about pesticides and things. These guys, this is an expense. It's an investment or an expense, but they don't want to put anything more into it than they absolutely have to.
And part of that is also being stewardships of the land.
Absolutely, absolutely. They are trying to minimize all inputs, do what they need when they need to, and really nothing more. It doesn't serve them to do more than they need, but it also doesn't serve them to undercut the program and then run into trouble later.
Well, thank you so much for everything you're doing for the potato farmers. Enjoy the Potato Expo. Glad you were able to get on the Innovation Hub and educate people. So,
it's been wonderful. I think you're the hardest working guy here.
Well, I don't know about that, but you guys are. You've got to answer the questions. I got the easy
That's all right. It's been a pleasure.
So we're going to take a break. Again, another reminder. I know I keep on hitting this home. 5 o'clock, Spud Nation Throwdown behind me. Be there. It's going to be an exciting competition that you're not going to want to miss. We'll be right back.